Okay, good morning, Dr. Fazia. I'm here with my friend. Can I present for Lalamove case study? First of all, I'm going to introduce the team. First of all, um, I'm as a project manager for the news area. There is also a programmer, Muhammad Eman, and Faiz Navi Bufanuswaran as a system analyst, and Muhammad Nabil as a tester. Okay, I'm gonna let if I gonna do the present first.
Okay. So, good morning, madam. My name is Vaishnavi, matrix ID CD1029. Oh, this is our topic outline for our presentation. Next. So, first we start with the case study explanation. Courier service is a service that focuses on express and door-to-door delivery. In Malaysia, there are lots of companies that offer courier service, whether it is self-owned, privately shared, or public transportation to supply these services. For this case study, we will focus on the Lalamove company in terms of a software engineering perspective. Lalamove, which is also known as EasyVan, was founded in December by Cho Sing-yuk. The company that today is so-called one of the courier service was originally about leveraging the sharing economy and satisfying the logistical needs such as delivery van hire. So next, this is the example of the main user interface for the Lalamove. This is the home page. Next. And this one is the example of the login and or sign up page. For the introduction, our objective is to make an on-demand delivery possible for everyone. An info service where our company provide the frequently asked question fact on the website where customer can see the general questions on the fact. So next.
Okay, for API tools, we have three API tools that we found for this project. First, social API, second, tracking API, and third, payment API. Next. Okay, for first one, social API. Social API is a platform provided by social network, allowing other application and website to pull social media data and integrate it with their site or application. So, it's easier to say that for Lalamove, user can use their email addresses to set up for new account. Since everyone have their own email, it is easier to sign up for Lalamove. And the login process only require email account and password. So they can easily log into Lalamove account whenever and wherever they want. And if they forget the password, they just may press the forgot password button and then they will reset their password again. Okay, instead of using email, user also may choose to register an account using Facebook account and Google account. So instead of using Gmail account or their personal email, they also can use Facebook and Google account for register for Lalamove. Okay, next. For tracking API, tracking API is important for delivery businesses such as Lalamove, since customer want to know the update of the item. It means that customer that buy or order things online or want services online want to know want to tracking their item and their parcel by their live location. It has been maintained for a long time by Google. It means that in Lalamove, they use Google Maps as their interface of the map. It is because Google has its own maps, which is Google Map, and it's free and easier to use instead of with their own map from scratch because the costs are too high. Okay, next. Okay, for the last one, payment API. Payment API, or well known as payment gateway API, is used to carry out the payment process in Lalamove system. If customer complete an online payment on Lalamove website, the payment API will facilitate the purchase process. Instead of handling fee, API also handle refund issue for online payment and allow instant settlement. The benefit of this API is it offer improved security through payment authentication, so it easy to minimize the risk of fraud. For Lalamove, they're using wallet and customer can reload the wallet by using credit or debit card. Okay, next.
Next is for validation and verification. So verification is the process of reviewing a system or component to determine if the results of a certain development phase fulfill the requirements established at the start of that phase. Next. So one type of verification that our company will apply in Lalamove is formal verification. Formal verification is to demonstrate or refute the correctness of the intended algorithm supporting a system. So this formal verification can be applied in the system code where we have to provide formal proof of on an abstract mathematical model of the system. Since our system Lalamove require calculation in the system, so formal verification is needed to verify the mathematical code in the system to get the correct output. This technique is a static verification because it requires us to check the code before it runs to see whether the system meet the requirement or not. Next.
Okay, as for validation, this is one of the most critical steps in project management. Based on record, validation achieved by testing the software against the requirement to ensure that it performs as expected and fulfill intended purpose. Validation happens as one or more phases of the process and is used to assess whether or not the project meets the client expectation. Functional testing, performance testing, and user testing all might be part of the validation process. So basically, based on this case study, we will implement the integration testing for a Lalamove website, which is focused mostly on the interface and data transfer between components as integrated system. The reason is that Lalamove login or register also use external authentication, such as Google and Facebook. To expose the defects, we will test the interaction between these software modules when they are integrated. For example, we will test whether the user is able to log in without having to create an account in Lalamove. Tester whether the code authentication is sent to email. Check whether the information in the system is synchronized with information in third-party account or external account, and etc. Tests will be considered dynamic testing since we run the system and try to observe the behavior of the code or system to check whether it meets our expectation or not. The second technique that we implement in these are functional testing, especially in the tracking system. Basically, the functional testing that we implement is also dynamic validation approach that involves evaluating the system to ensure that it performs properly and satisfying the client expectation. It will cover a range of sectors from placing an order to tracking the package. This is form of testing is possibility that perform manually or in automated testing. For example, we will test whether the system can handle a large number of requests, whether the system can handle possible input from the user, can the tracker show the package location in real time, or whether it is possible to cancel the order, etc. Like that. Okay, so me as project manager, I'm gonna tell the two factors in influencing maintenance costs. So for the first one is team stability. As a project manager, I will try to keep the developer the Lalamove system to also do the maintenance as compared to someone who must go through the report and code listing to understand the Lalamove system. It is easier for the original programmer to comprehend and modify the system. If the one who develops the system also maintains it, the maintenance cost will be reduced, but in practice, I should keep in mind that the programming profession is characterized by frequent jobs change. It is uncommon for them to create and maintain an application throughout this useful life. So if the scenario is inevitable to keep the author, I should prepare a new maintenance team to fulfill the role. The second one is programmer as an instructor. Legacy system is a computer system that is still in use, even if it's outdated. This is all could also suggest that the system needs to be updated or replaced, but in some cases, replacing it will be exceedingly expensive or challenging. As a project manager, I should organize the maintenance team, keep monitoring the Lalamove system with current technology, and decide when developing a new system from scratch makes sense. As the system ages, the maintenance costs rise. As the time passes, the Lalamove system starts to get considered as a legacy system. It operates on all the programming languages, uses outdated network infrastructure and hardware, and which is hardly compatible with modern technology. As a result, managing and supporting such a system becomes expensive. At the end, where the hardware or some other potential makes the maintenance impossible to do anymore, making a new system from scratch with current technology is one of the options.
So next is factors influencing maintenance costs. Next. So there are two factors which are staff skills and program age and structure. So as a system analyst, I should be responsible for finding solutions, recommending course of action, and coordinating with stakeholders in order to meet the specified requirements. So in staff skills, sometimes the maintenance staff are inexperienced and have limited knowledge about the system. So maintenance staff such as skilled technician are important as they are able to perform inspection, maintenance, repairs, and replacement work for our system, which is Lalamove. When there are few skilled technician and staff in our company, the maintenance work will be reduced. Thus, I have to perform an inspection to check whether the system meet the requirement or not. But then I have to hire other technicians to perform system testing if the staff are inexperienced and have limited knowledge. So this will cause the maintenance cost to increase. Next is program age and structure. As a system analyst, I have to change and upgrade the system so that it can be used by the next generation. When in program age and structure, when the structure is degraded and become harder to understand, so we have to upgrade the system, which if we didn't upgrade or update the system, then it will cause the failure in system functionality, which have to be repaired, and this will increase the maintenance cost of the system. Next.
Okay, I'm Nabi Hakim. As a tester of the project. Okay, next. So the factor that influence cost in the project for tester, I have two, which is the first one is team stability. For team stability, it depends on who is involved in maintaining process. If the staff involved in the maintaining process is the same as the development process, the maintaining cost can be reduced. This is because it is easy to understand and easy to work with people you familiar with. So that the job can be done faster and professional, more professional. And then if the company hire a new team for maintenance process, it will be harder because they need to understand the structure of Lalamove system first before they can do the maintenance. This is because they are not involved in the development process before. So this situation may waste time and money for the company. Okay, next. The second factor is staff skill. For staff skill, if the company hire inexperienced staff, it will result it will result that the staff cannot manage the problem that they faces because they don't have enough experience in the field. And then the company need to or required to recruit skilled employees since the inexperienced staff cannot do the job. And then this will cost lots of money. Okay, that's it.
So as for the potential system problems, I had two factors. The first one is project management over reliability. Scope creep in project management refers to modification in project scope after the project begins. This happens when the scope of the project is not properly specified, documented, or regulated. As a project manager, I need to ensure that I follow in the initial plan and use the necessary tool to avoid any change in the requirement or scope. I will use modern approach and tools like adopting a proper project scheduling tool, budgeting procedure, and making a realistic assumption to avoid cost overruns by utilizing the current project management tools. I can proactively engage with workers and keep in touch with the clients during the project planning phase and can help to get their exact requirement as well as to understand their expectation. And the next one is again text okay. Potential text management system reliability. Okay, as project manager, if I improperly allocate the workers with some task or responsibility, the project is likely to suffer inefficiency that might lead to failure, since they are prone to get stuck and make errors that can affect the quality of system reliability at the end of the product. Appropriately matching working capabilities to project tasks requires the knowledge to know what skills are required for the specific task. It also demands the project manager to get to know their team well in order to recognize their talent and motivation. In order to mitigate the problem, I need to track the workload and evaluate the team members' performance in real time with the currently available system. So when they get stuck in their tasks, I can do the immediate action as the project manager about the problem. It also gives me a chance to know what the cause is and help them to solve it.
So the potential system problems that I found as a system analyst are, next slide, where the system does not work according to its requirement. So as a system analyst, I am responsible to guide the programmer from the specification of requirements until the designing of the system itself. So the system must be a failure-free operation. For example, where the requirement is the staff should be able to view the history of sales for every week, but the system is not showing the history for every week. So I have to make sure that the system meets every requirement stated by the stakeholder by carrying out system evaluation. Sometimes the system requirements are complex and multi-dimensional, which leads to confusion when developing a system. So the programmer might think that might be confused and develop a system according to their own understanding, whereas the programmer might think stakeholder just want to see the history of sales annually and not every week. Thus, as a system analyst, I have to explain properly to the programmer and do testing of the system first before it can be used by the customer. The second potential system problem is the size of system is too big and not suitable for some hardware. Since Lalamove will be used widely, it will have many functions and complexity of the code will increase. So as a system analyst, I have to simplify the code so that it will be a smaller system. I have to check from time to time to make sure that the team is working with the latest technological system so that it will produce a high productivity and output also. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Okay, hi. Now I will talk about potential system problem as a tester. Okay, next. For next. Okay, for uh, the example of problem that tester face is missing documentation and also insufficient testing. Previous. Okay. First of all, documentation. Documentation is important process during developing software. In some cases, our team communicate verbally or informal with customer, and then they often fail to record the project functional and non-functional scope, as well as some particular requirements. So client expectation may not fully understood by developer or tester. This will cause the developer team need to go on the project based on their assumption, which will later result project to delay because uh, they perform unnecessary tests since they not quite sure what the requirements are. Additionally, unwanted feature could be tested, then it will cause loss of money and time for Lalamove company. Okay, next. The second problem that we faces is insufficient testing. Insufficient testing is also one of the problem where because a system must be carefully tested in many conditions in order to be reliable and faultless. But uh, some clients want to shorten delivery times to compete with other competitor and or other company. This will result testers fail to prioritize important tests because they're having pressure in accelerate the project, and this will result in insufficient testing and allow bugs to access production. So the quality of the system is not quite good because uh, they are too rushing in developing the software. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you.